Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're looking at the 80-20 rule, drawing on some really incredible insights from Thomas Alethia's 12 Steps to a Good Life. We're going to explore a concept that literally has the power to transform how you manage your time and energy. And spoiler alert, it's actually not about getting more done. It's about finally getting the right things done.
Think about your average day for a sec. Are you just busy, or are you actually effective? You know that feeling, right? Like you're Sisyphus, endlessly rolling that massive boulder up the hill only to watch it roll right back down? Alethea points out that we constantly confuse this relentless, exhausting busyness with actual productivity. We kind of trick ourselves into thinking that if we're moving fast, we're making progress. But as it turns out, motion does not always equal momentum.
This is fascinating. The ancient Greeks actually had two totally different concepts for time. First, you've got Chronos. This is clock time. It's measurable, it's a strict schedule, and according to the source, it actively drives entropy and decay. Basically, most of us are prisoners to Chronos. But then there's Kairos. You can't measure Kairos on a watch. It is the right time, the moment of experience, of flow, and of acting wisely. So mastering your life really means stepping out of that exhausting Chronos trap and learning to operate in Kairos, where you're taking the right action for the absolute highest impact. Now, why is that shift so incredibly hard to make? Well, Alethea calls it the 800-pound gorilla of unconscious habits. You can make all the conscious commitments you want, but your conscious mind is literally riding on the shoulders of an 800-pound gorilla. And if that gorilla decides he's going right, guess what? You are going right, no matter how hard you yank the reins to the left. These deeply ingrained, unconscious habits are exactly what keep us exhausted and trapped in these cycles that yield totally minimal results.
So here is the absolute crucial takeaway. Trying harder is not the answer. I know, right? That's a huge myth we've all been spoon-fed, this idea that if you just push harder and use more willpower, you'll finally break through. But Alethea argues that wrestling that 800-pound gorilla with brute force, that just leads straight to burnout. Simply throwing more effort at the wrong tasks is never going to lead to the meaningful life you're looking for. We have to work differently, not just harder.
Enter the paradigm shift. This is the Pareto principle in action. It proves that you really only need a remarkably small slice of effort to generate the vast majority of your outcomes. Think about it. A massive chunk of your results, we're talking 80%, comes from a tiny 20% sliver of your actual effort. The rest, it's largely just noise.
Let's lock in this core definition directly from the text. 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. You see this everywhere. In business, 80% of sales come from 20% of clients. But in your personal life, 80% of your success and happiness comes from just 20% of the things you do. So the absolute primary goal of effective living is identifying, isolating, and zeroing in on that specific fraction.
Finding your crucial 20%. Let's get into it.
To actually pull this off, we're going to systematically apply the 80-20 rule across three major life domains, straight from Alethea's framework. We need to run three ruthless audits on our lives: an audit of our tasks, our media consumption, and our social time. Let's break these down one by one.
First up, the task audit. The goal here is to ruthlessly filter your to-do list to find the 20% of tasks that give you the absolute best return on your effort. Alethea calls this identifying your first three things. It's the handful of items that actually drive your success and align with your values. Those are your VIPs. The other 80%? Delegate them, push them to a reminders list, or frankly, just drop them entirely. Next, we audit our media. Look, in an age of infinite content, our attention is constantly under attack. The source highly recommends auditing your reading material and your screen time. You want to deliberately choose the 20% of books, articles, social media, and videos that provide a real, tangible enhancement to your life and well-being. Cut out that 80% of mindless scrolling to protect your attention muscle. Finally, the social time audit. Our relationships have a massive impact on our energy. Applying the rule here means you should aim to spend 80% of your social time with the top 20% of your friends and family. I'm talking about the ones who are the most accepting, supportive, and uplifting. It's about dedicating your best social energy to the people who genuinely enrich your life instead of draining it on obligations that just pull you down.
Oh, and here's a totally vital tip for executing on this crucial 20%. You've got to match your biology to it. Figure out when you are most alert, most energetic, and most productive during your day. Then, funnel that peak energy specifically into this vital 20% of difficult, high-reward tasks. Please do not waste your absolute best hours on the 80% of trivial minutia.
Now moving on to action aligned with values.
Because, as the source text makes very clear, productivity alone does not lead to a good life, not unless it connects to meaning, growth, and virtue. Think about it. If you clear up all this time and energy using the 80-20 rule, but you don't connect your newfound time to your deeper values, well, you haven't really improved your life, have you? You've just gotten much better at being busy.
So, to truly benefit, the text points us towards some core virtues. You want to seek growth before mere accomplishment. Make sure the goals you're chasing are actually your own, not just some expectations you absorbed from society. Try to link your actions to a greater good, something beyond your own ego. And honestly, when you're feeling stuck, just practice doing the next right thing. That simple shift transforms the 80-20 rule from a basic time hack into this incredibly powerful, holistic tool for living purposefully.
So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative question to chew on today. What is the 20% that will completely change your life? Take a hard look at your tasks, your habits, and your relationships. Find that tiny sliver of high impact, align it with your absolute deepest values, and focus your energy right there. The results? They just might be miraculous.